sometimes we take things for granted. We take our blessings for granted. We take life for granted. We have food to eat, but we curse the weather when it doesn't favor us. We are in our nice, lovely cars, working perfectly with the air condition on, but we feel like busting a blood vessel when another driver cuts us off, or perhaps the traffic is very heavy. We live in a time where we can conduct financial transactions without seeing the four walls of a bank, a time where we can reach anyone, anywhere, anytime, instantly, but yet we feel like pulling the hairs out of our head when perhaps the internet service is down, or the likes, the shares, the comments, or the following on our social media accounts aren't going up. During our early years of marriage, my wife would ask questions like, so how many times did you poop and fart today? I would get really upset and agitated anytime she would ask questions like that. I mean, who in the world keeps record of how many times they poop and they fart in a day? There are more important things to talk about. Souls are out there in the world perishing, and here you are concerning yourself with such irrelevancies. It was over time, however, that I discovered that was just our own way of saying, lighten up, stop taking yourself too seriously. I mean, there's only one El Shaddai in the entire universe, and the day you try to be El Shaddai, that day thou shalt die. You deserve to feel so much better about yourself. You don't have to wait until you get that big win before you celebrate yourself and give yourself some credit. We complain about the weather that doesn't suit us, the traffic that doesn't favor us, the internet that doesn't serve us. But have we tried to imagine the alternative? The alternative where we don't have cars to take us from point A to point B and we have to walk several kilometers. This is why I believe that we need to be grateful. It's like that saying that you don't know what you have until it's gone. We are not alone on our journey. We need to be careful that our sense of significance doesn't get blown into self-importance, because that's the first step towards pride. And we all know what happens. Pride is what goes before a fall. Just simply learn to smile and laugh at ourselves even when things are seemingly going wrong and when things are happening that we seemingly do not understand. We have passed through these stages of our life and we no longer even think or reflect on them. We don't think or reflect that if we could come through all that and we are still standing, that we are probably more capable than we think. That if God could help us through all that, that He will still yet help us through what we are experiencing right now. Most times we are waiting for that big win, that ultimate goal before we give ourselves any credit. Let's not focus so much on what we don't have that we lose sight, forget to be grateful for those things that we actually do have. Now, someone will say, Kayode, are you all right? Do you live on the moon? Aren't you aware of the mess the world is in right now? For what should we be grateful for? Who should we be grateful to? And don't you dare say God, because how can there be a God if the world is in such a mess that it is right now? It's because there is a God that exists and that loves us. That's why things aren't worse than they are right now, despite the fact that we as humans are the ones that have made a mess of things. That ability to smile and to laugh at ourselves, even when things seem to be going all wrong, is what gives us the momentum to keep pushing and to keep moving. Because here's the thing, laughter is great medicine. A cheerful disposition is good for your health. Gloom and doom leave you bone tired. How do we celebrate those small wins? Number one, by having a reflection schedule. A reflection schedule is simply a time that we set aside to think on the wins that we had in the week. What did I do well this week and what can I learn from that? What did I probably mess up this week and what did I learn from that? It's usually helpful to have a specific day and time in the week when we do this, and it's also helpful to have a notebook by our side so that we can write our thoughts. God didn't say that things will go as planned. He only said that things will work together for our good. While the isolated events may be evil, the ultimate culmination will be good. And it's just like how the individual ingredients come together to form that beautiful meal of fried rice, and how you probably won't enjoy eating those ingredients alone. It's the same way that some of the events in our lives definitely leave a bad aftertaste in our mouth. But at the end of the day, every event will come come together to form this beautiful story of ours that is still being created, crafted, written. Don't take yourself too seriously, but take God seriously. That's the only person we need to take seriously. Once we have nothing to prove, we are free to live. We are free to give our best, to do the creative best that we can with our lives. This is why it's important that we just laugh at life and we learn to laugh at ourselves. Number 2 way that we celebrate our wins is by feeling the win. Relive it, feel it, and integrate it. We will never get this particular moment again. So rather than focusing on tomorrow and the next achievement, let's enjoy now. Let's enjoy this moment. Let's savor this victory for all that it is. Just like we gave our best to get to this particular point, let's put in our best in the now to enjoy the moment, the victory, and the milestone. Let tomorrow take care of its own worries and its own issues. Just like how we can't pass judgment on the wine of a vineyard just after eating one grape from that vineyard, and how we can't pass an opinion on the work of an artist just after one stroke of the brush. It's the same way that we can't pass an opinion or judgment on our lives if we know that it's still being written, on our stories if we know that they are still being crafted and created. We should just give ourselves time. We should allow the grape of the vineyards to mature. We should allow the artist to finish his work. We should realize that the events of our lives are like letters on a page. They only form poetry when they come together, the good and the bad. We shouldn't take life too seriously because none of us is going to get out of it alive anyway. Number 2, we are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. Number 3, we are never too good to take out the garbage. And finally, the brighter we smile, the lighter we feel. And the lighter we feel, the higher we rise and we fly. Number 3 way that we celebrate our small wins is by sharing the win. Let's share the win with other people. We don't do this because to our mind, what we have achieved is no big deal. It may not be a big deal to someone else, but it should be a big deal to you. It's you that has achieved this. Don't stop waiting for someone else to acknowledge that it's a big win to them. You may not have hit the exact mark you wanted to hit. The outcome may not have been exactly what you hoped for, but you gave your best, you gave your all, and you take satisfaction in that. Now share that with others. And this is why I believe that we have every reason to be grateful. While things are seemingly going wrong or things are not going according to plan, we can still focus on the things on where we are making progress in our lives and have every reason to be grateful. Now this is one thing that high performers do. Someone will say, well, aren't you accepting giving an excuse for mediocrity? On the contrary, no. The more we see reasons why we should be grateful, the more we look out for ways in which we are making progress, the more we find ways to move our lives to a whole new level of performance, and the more we grow from one level to another level to another level of doing the creative best that we can with our lives.